Hey there, YouTube. In the following series, we're going to do a reading of the Militia Standards and Principles of the Lightfoot. This is the 5th edition, which was published on 19th of April, 2020. It's available for free and free to use on the Lightfoot Militia website, link in the description. In this series, we will be doing 10 to 15 minute readings of each of the book. What you'll be seeing on the screen is will be as relevant as possible to what is being read. Some of it I'm not going to have access to things that are going to be relevant, so I will simply use what pictures I can procure, or it might just be clips of me hiking in the desert. But we will try to keep the visual aids as relevant as possible to the reading. Commentary by me will be kept to a minimum during the reading. I will either have my commentary appear on the screen in subtitles, and we might do a recap at the end of each section of reading. So like I said, this is going to be broken up into 10 to 15 minute videos. I hope you enjoy. I hope it's beneficial, both having an audiobook version of this text, but also what I'm able to contribute visually. So without further ado, let us start with the Militia Standards and Principles of the Lightfoot. Amat Victoria Coram, Victory Loves the Prepared, by Jeffrey Stankovitz, founder, Idaho Lightfoot Militia, 5th edition, 19th of April, 2020. Why Lightfoot? We in the Patriot movement like history and tradition. Up until the late 18th, early 19th century, British infantry units were called foot soldiers, as in the 13th Regiment of Foot. Light infantry was called Lightfoot. Cavalry was called horse. Heavy cavalry was heavy horse. For example, the 48th Regiment of Horse. Our founding fathers, during the War for Independence, used the terms infantry and cavalry to make themselves distinct from the King's army. We take the name foot for the same reason, to delineate us from the regular military infantry. As we will not have much in the way of supply lines or support elements, we will most likely live off the land, resupply off the enemy, so to speak, carrying what we need on our backs through the mountains and hills. Light equals fast, hence the Lightfoot Militia, or Lightfoot for short, Idaho Lightfoot, Utah Lightfoot, etc. Our unit patch in all states is a Spartan helmet and crossed short swords patch with Lightfoot Militia. We also use the motto, "Come and get them," in Greek, pronounced molon lave. It is a famous quote from ancient military history. It was uttered by Leonidas, king of Sparta, to Xerxes, king of Persia, during the Battle of Thermopylae, or when Xerxes ordered Leonidas, "Lay down your arms," Leonidas' reply will live in history, "Come and get them." Recruit induction. Congratulations on your decision to stand with the Lightfoot Militia. According to the U.S. Constitution, federal law, nearly all state constitutions and state code, all male citizens ages 18 to 45 years are members of the militia. According to Anglo-Saxon common law, and laws and customs of the American colonies before our separation from the British Empire, all males, and even females during an actual emergency, between the ages of 16 and 60, were considered members of the militia. So the militia, like your God-given rights, existed before the United States government was formed, and as such, you are already a member of the militia by statute and by God-given right. The Geneva Convention set forth the conditions for the recognition of legitimate militia organizations. Annexed to the Convention Regulations respecting the laws and customs of war on land. Section 1. On belligerents. Chapter 1. The qualification of belligerents. Article 1. The laws, rights, and duties of war apply not only to armies, but also to militia and volunteer corps fulfilling the following conditions. 1. To be commanded by a person responsible for his subordinates. 2. To have a fixed, distinctive emblem recognizable at a distance. 3. To carry arms openly. And 4. To conduct their operations in accordance with the laws and customs of war. In order to fulfill these conditions, we ask you to do the following. Obtain a suitable uniform and purchase the appropriate rank and insignia patches. See LFMS-04-06A Uniform Standards. If you have experience you feel would benefit others in the militia, please step up and ask to be considered for an officer position. After consideration by your teammates, they will hold a vote and, if accepted, you will be given a rank suitable to your talents. If you do not have any beneficial experience or do not wish to lead, then you must agree to accept the orders of those above you in rank. All officers are voted on by the men below them. This is not regular army. Militiamen cannot be threatened with court-martial to make them obey orders. They must trust and respect the men who wish to lead them. Voting shall be by secret ballot. When participating in any militia activity, you will openly bear only lawful arms and accessories. When in active service, if called on up by your governor, you will obey the laws of war. We are not a private militia or private paramilitary group. We are citizens of the several states who are simply exercising our rights to bear arms and peacefully assemble, to train and network with other patriotic Americans, in order that we might be a well-regulated militia, if the time ever comes that when we are called upon to defend our country, state, nation, and U.S. Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Training. Training days will be agreed upon at the unit meetings, and dates, times, a list of gear needed will be provided by your local XO. We utilize 2 quality field manuals for training so that we're all on the same page, so to speak. These are required for training in the Lightfoot. It's how we can combine units seamlessly in an emergency. The first is Light Infantry Tactics for Small Teams by Christopher E. Larson. The second is U.S. Army Field Manual FM 21-75 Combat Skills of the Soldier. These can be purchased from eBay and Amazon, or you can try running a search to see if you can find a better price from a different online retailer. Statement of Ethics and Mission Statement. Statement of Ethics. It is the duty of the Citizens Militia to protect and defend the unalienable rights of all members of the community. Under no circumstances will the militia tolerate those who advocate acts of criminal violence, terrorism, or a change away from our republican form of government. Nor will it support any specific political party or candidate, nor espouse any particular religious denomination or doctrine. All members must understand the duties and obligation of both citizens and government under the United States and their state's constitution. Mission Statement. The members of the unorganized militia shall ever stand, as have our forefathers before us, first to God, from whom we acknowledge the authority of all rights, and all the blessings of governments, and to our native state. We therefore pledge to promote and defend the unalienable God-given rights of all American citizens, regardless of race, sex, or national origin, as is expressed in our state constitutions and the Bill of Rights of the U.S. Constitution. To promote and defend the principles of just government bequeathed to us by our forefathers, to wit, that the principle of the 10th Amendment shall stand inviolate, as history has shown that the greatest system of checks and balances exists with the people and their states to check the powers accrued by the federal government. That the integrity of the courts, be they local, state, or federal, shall remain uncontemptible, providing that they shall respect and uphold the rights of the citizens of the several states, including but not limited to upholding the due process of law, preserving the right of trial by jury, and to be able to obtain immediate judicial review of cases where abuse of basic constitutional rights are questioned. That all power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their life, liberty, and property. For the advancement of those ends, they have at all times an unalienable and indefeasible right to alter, reform, or abolish and replace the government in such manner as they may think proper. The government being instituted for the common benefit, the doctrine of non-resistance against arbitrary power is absurd, slavish, and destructive of the good and happiness of mankind. That all government is servant of the people who have instituted it, that the people should never be that all just government is servant of the people who have instituted it, that the people should never by force nor coercion be obligated to anything styled as law, which has not been promulgated by their duly elected representatives, nor any as may be promulgated by them to bear conflict by the rights of the people, so that no government shall be made master of the people. To promote and propagate the militia as a well-regulated, trained, and prepared organization, knowledgeable in historical precedent and current affairs, that is composed of common citizens. To develop a cohesive and competent command structure. To train our members in the many disciplines necessary to the function of the militia as a whole, and to the members individually. To educate our members in areas of history, law, and principle as compiled in the experience and records of our forefathers. To keep informed our members and all citizens of events local, state, national, and global that threaten to imperil our traditional constitutional rights, or such as may imperil the sovereignty of our nation by the undue influence of those who have forsaken their loyalty to our nation and to the principles upon which it was founded. To repel foreign aggression and invasions by preparing and training for defense, and by our encouraging and showing reason why all citizens should stand stoutly against socialism, fascism, communism, humanism, and all forms of tyranny. To suppress domestic insurrections and violence by supporting and assisting the appropriate officers of the law in upholding and maintaining law and order in accordance with such local, state, and federal statutes and laws that do not present jeopardy to our God-given rights as acknowledged in the U.S. Constitution, among others. See Amendment 9, Constitution of these United States. Thank you so much for listening to this first installment of the reading of the Militia Standards and Principles of the Lightfoot. I hope this has been helpful, and until next time, ciao.